feel so much better when I do something bad.
You are looking at Skeletor. That's right, my personal favorite villain in the entire universe, coming to Raid Shadow Legends. And the best part, he's free for everybody. A 7-day login loyalty legendary champion, Night Revenant, Skeletor. But hey, what's Skeletor without Adam, aka He-Man? I have the power! Now, unfortunately, He-Man is going to be a champion past, kind of like Xena champion in the game.
Oh, come on, man.
But today I'm going to show you a little bit of gameplay and tell you what these champions do. I am pumped because the nostalgia is hitting hard right now. I used to wake up, little 6-year-old Ash, used to wake up every morning playing with my He-Man characters, watching He-Man cartoon on TV, and now it's coming to Raid. Can you tell I'm excited? All right, guys, so I'm going to share what I have with you guys. We did not get a heads up on this as creators, so I'm just kind of scraping the internet to see what I can find. But here's some gameplay in the background, what they look like kind of in-game, obviously, here. He-Man going in for that death blow. Obviously, Plarium has teamed up with Universal Services and Products, as well as Mattel, to bring He-Man and Skeletor inside the game. As I said earlier, listen up, Skeletor available starting today in-game as a 7-day login between now and I believe Christmas. You can get your hands on Skeletor for free, a legendary Knights Revenant champion. He-Man will be a champion pass champion. I take that to be similar to a Xena, meaning you're going to pay for the pass and He-Man is the ultimate prize. A little bit more gameplay here in the background, guys. You can see He-Man looks like a just all-out nuker, obviously. Boom, goes in with the A1, I would assume. We don't see any damage numbers or anything like that here, but ooh, I love the animations, don't you guys? Skeletor just looks so cool, right? I mean, like I said earlier, the nostalgia hits me hard. Monster Hunters and some of the other collabs, I'm just not a player of those, like no offense, but these characters, like it resonates heavy with me, right? They look awesome, and who doesn't love a freaking free legendary? I'm so excited that everybody's gonna have Skeletor. Like I'm legitimately pumped up about this. So guys, how do you think they did with the actual kind of animations and also the aesthetics of the original characters in the game? Let's take a quick look again. So here is He-Man. Man, he looks like He-Man. He looks like He-Man to me. I think they did a pretty dang good job with it. Legendary attack base. He's magic affinity, sacred order champion. Base stats look meh. Not gonna lie, right? 1465 on the attack, 16k on the HP, 991 defense, 104 speed. Really lackluster on the base stats. We haven't looked at his kit yet, though. Now, Skeletor, I just think he looks even cooler. Again, I'm biased. I love the villains. I love the villains. But Skeletor, a legendary support. He's spirit affinity. He's the freebie. His speed's 103, 1100 defense, 1000, excuse me, on the attack, and 21k on the HP. So a tanky support unit against spirit affinity, legendary Knights Revenant. All right, guys. So here's the Skeletor chase in game. As you can see, it's 14 days. You get some perception gear, which is nice, and it all ends with Skeletor. What does Skeletor do? All right, we talked about his base stats a little bit here. His Havoc Scythe, his A1 attacks 2 times, 75% chance booked up to 100 to increase the duration of a random debuff on the target by 1 turn on his A1. He's an HP-based champion. On the A2, Skull Comet attacks 1 enemy on a 3-turn cooldown when booked, 5 turns otherwise. So now we some books into this dude. Has a 100% chance to place a petrification debuff on the target for 1 turn. If the target's a boss, places a decreased attack on them and a decreased speed debuff on them. Whenever a petrification debuff is removed or expires on an enemy, has a 75% chance when booked of placing a decreased speed on that enemy. All right, so a mouthful here, but against bosses, we have decreased attack and decreased speed. Against other mobs who can be petrified, we have petrification, and then that gets replaced with a decreased speed when it is removed from the enemy. All right, A3, Begone Fools. A 3-turn cooldown. Places an increased accuracy on all allies for 2 turns. Big version, all allies, 3-turn cooldown when booked. Again, 2 more books to go into the cooldown here. Have a 100% chance to place to steal any block debuffs and 1 other random buff from each enemy. Interesting. Okay, so we can go in there, steal all block debuffs, or any block debuffs, and 1 random buff from each enemy on an AoE with the increased accuracy. Then decrease enemy's turn meter by 15%. If an enemy is from the Tolarian League Pact, decreases that enemy's turn meter by 30% instead. Okay, a mouthful here. We'll get to kind of a synopsis in just a moment. Passive Master of Evil. Whenever this champion attempts to place a debuff, steal a buff, decrease enemy's turn meter, or increase the duration of a debuff on an enemy, increases champion's accuracy by 20 for each buff on that enemy. For every buff, extra 20 accuracy whenever he's doing anything that he needs to do in his kit. Whenever this champion is hit, has a 40% chance to place a decreased resistance, big version, debuff on the attacker for 1 turn. Chance increases to 75% against champions from the Tolarian League. Accuracy in all battles by 60. Whoa. All right, so he's definitely not endgame. Definitely not endgame. But man, starting out or even like mid-game with a champion like this, he can do a lot. Okay, so the increased accuracy on all allies, right? And then you have the petrification for like the arena or anywhere for wave content, or the decrease attack, decrease speed against bosses, and then the buff extender, and then the steal block debuffs and something else from each enemy. So it's a pretty big AoE steal there. Decreased turn meter, and then all that accuracy help, right? He's made so that basically he's boosting everybody else's accuracy and himself for each buff on the passive. Overall, going to help, I would say, a ton of new players, but he doesn't strike me as endgame, but man, I want him just the same. Look at how cool he looks inside the game. All right, let's look at He-Man. All right, here's He-Man over here. Obviously, Sacred Order, as I mentioned. All right, let's take a look at him here. Oh, he has a little copyright info in the game. All right. On his A1, Eternian Slash attacks 1 enemy, places an extra hit on enemies from the Corrupted Pact. Also fills this champion's turn meter by 10%. Fills her turn meter by an additional 2% for each buff on this champion. Attack and HP damage scaling. On the A2, attacks 1 enemy. Attack and HP scaling again. Attacks 1 enemy before attacking, place an increased attack buff on this champion. Ignore Stone Skin. Ooh. If this champion kills an enemy, fills a turn meter of all allies by 30%. A3, I have the power. Attacks all enemies. Damage inflicted by this skill increases by 10% for each buff placed on this champion before the skill is used. Up to 500% resets after the skill. So HP, attack HP, 3-turn cooldown when booked, scales up according to buffs on the target, kind of like a Turvold on himself, not the target, rather. Master of the Universe passive. Increases champion's attack and HP by 5% for each buff placed on this champion, up to 50%. Man, so he scales a lot. Ignore Stone Skin. Yeah, you can definitely tell which champion is the champion pass. Can you not? Places a big version of Strengthen on this champion for 2 turns at the start of each round. Also places a Strengthen on this champion for 2 turns whenever an enemy's HP drops below 50% after this champion's attack. He's immune to petrification. He has speed in arena battles by 28%. Ooh. So we have an arena nuker here. Ignore Stone Skin. We'll have to see the multipliers, right? On He-Man. I don't know. I love how they have the names of the original things. It's a bummer that He-Man is going to be a champion past freaking champion, man. So guys, I hate to end on a negative note. I love these champions. I love the IP, but I have to say that it really does stink that it's a champion pass, the return of the champion pass to Raid Shadow Legends, where basically the only way that you can get your hands on this really cool champion is to just fork it out. Like, that's it, right? There's nothing I can say that's going to make anybody feel better about that, myself included, especially considering it's freaking He-Man, you know? It really sucks. It really sucks. Skeletor is, like I said, really cool for new players, really cool for, progression players, cool for progression players. It stings that the books go right into the cooldown, or as I should say, that you need books to take advantage of what is a very mediocre at best kit. It stinks. Again, you can tell which one is free. You can tell which one is probably going to be insane that ignores the stone skin and is arena nuker in He-Man, right? So that really sucks. I just wanted to kind of end on that note, acknowledging that. As excited as I am about the IP, man, it's a bummer that it's a freaking champion pass, a fusion, a freaking deck of fate, anything, exclusive shard event that's tough to pull. At least people have a shot at them. But a champion pass, listen, I can tolerate a lot in this game, but champion pass, it really stinks that he's behind that paywall. It stinks. I guess that's all I have to say. Enjoy your Skeletors. Let me know what you think about everything in the comments below. Much love, and as always, take care, guys.